How would it feel if 2020 was the year that you saved more money than ever before? Stick around and I'll show you how. Hey guys, my name is Kristin. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching today. A new year is upon us, and personally, I know that this is going to be my best year ever when it comes to finances, and I want to make sure it's your best year ever as well. So let's talk today about 8 surefire ways that will help you increase your savings in the new year. So tell me, how would it feel if this was the year that you finally saved money without struggling? How would it feel if this is the year that you finally had a positive balance in all of your bank accounts? It would be amazing, right? So let's go ahead and get right into these tips so that you can start implementing them right away. Because remember, knowledge is not power. The application of knowledge is power. So it's great if you know how to save money, but if you don't actually take action and put these tips into action, then you're not really going to save any money, are you? So let's get started. Tip number 1 is to cut your expenses. Now, I know this may seem simple and you've heard it a million times before, but are you actually doing it? Have you really sat down and wrote out every single expense that you incur on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, a yearly basis? This is what I want you to do. Take a sheet of paper, write down every single expense. If you can't think of your expenses, grab your bank statements, grab your credit card statements, sit down, take some time, write everything out. This doesn't have to be fancy. You just want to get it all out on paper so you have a really good visual in front of you. And the next step is to ruthlessly cut your costs. Be honest with yourself. Is this an expense that's really worth the money? Is spending money on that gym membership that you really only use once a month worth that extra $50 that you could be saving every month if maybe you work out at home instead? So you have to really be honest with yourself. Great, you cut cable, but do you really need to pay for 5 streaming services now? So the thing is, if you want to save money, you have to create that margin in your budget. If you're getting to the end of the month and there's nothing left to save, you're not going to be able to save any money. So sit down, look through all your expenses, check out all the free resources I have for you. I have YouTube videos. I have a website called senseandpurpose.com where I have tons of free information teaching you how to cut your expenses and live more frugally and live on less money. I even have this free guide I showed in my last video. This is a completely free 30-page guide that gives you 101 frugal living tips. Sometimes we think we're doing everything we can to cut costs, but we're really not. So be honest with yourself. Take some time because this is worth the time. Tip number 2 is to automate your savings. Now, this can be tough. My husband and I have been stuck in a season where we've been struggling to save our 3 to 6 month emergency fund, and we just keep spinning our wheels. And one of the reasons we're not doing that great is because we're not automating our savings. Now, I know this, and I think this is something we are going to set up for 2020 so we can finally get through this step. But you have to pay yourself first, right? You have to make sure that you are paying yourself every single month, because if you are not, the money is going to disappear. That much I can almost guarantee you. Something will always take that money if it's sitting there unplanned for and unused. So one of the best ways that you can ensure you are saving consistently is by setting up automatic savings. Now, you can either do this through your employer or you can do it yourself right online with your bank account, and you can have a specific amount of money, either a dollar amount or even a percentage of your paycheck, taken out of your account and transferred to your choice of savings account automatically at any interval that you choose. Now, the great thing about this is when something's automated, you don't even have to think about it. So you don't need to make that decision every month or every paycheck. Should I send this money to savings, or should I purchase that thing we really needed for our home? A lot of times we'll make the wrong decision. So when you set this automatic savings plan up, It takes all of the guesswork and all of the decision making off your plate, and it just happens automatically. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to wonder if it's happening. You can just check your account each month and see that the money has gone there. And the really great thing about automating is if you're hesitant to save because you think you might need the money, you can start off really small, and after a couple of months, I can almost guarantee you're not even going to notice that money coming right off the top. And then over time, you can gradually increase the amount that you're saving automatically. Tip number 3 is try a fun savings challenge. Now, I did a whole video all about this last year. I will link it up here for you to watch, but doing some sort of savings challenge, whether it's with other members of your family or fun competition with your friends or just yourself, makes it so much easier to save money. Even if it just feels like a very small amount, remember those tiny actions compounded over time can make a huge impact on your finances. One of the things we like to do around here is we use these savings jars. Now, this is just a child's toy bank that I got off of Amazon. Myself and both my children have these banks, and every time we have spare change, we just put it in this bank. It actually is digital, so it shows you how much money you have in as you put every coin in. Not only is it fun for the kids, but it's fun for the adults too. I will leave a link to these down below. You can grab them. They're super cheap. They make awesome Christmas gifts or birthday gifts, but it's a great way to just take all of your extra change and save it up. And again, it's not going to make you a millionaire, but it is going to force you to save. There's a whole bunch of other different savings challenges you can try. Check out the video and commit to trying at least one of these fun challenges for the new year. Tip number 4 is to increase your income. So if you're having a hard time saving money, then the logical thing to do is work to increase your income, so you're going to have extra money each month to save. Now, the important thing with this tip is you really have to watch out for lifestyle creep. What happens is oftentimes when we start making more money, we then end up increasing our expenses, which essentially makes the higher earnings a wash. If you want to have that extra money to save, start asking for some overtime at work, maybe pick up a side hustle, maybe go through your house and sell some things. I have a video I'll link up here you can check out with some different side hustles you could look at. But the important thing is increasing your income while keeping your expenses relatively stable, because when your expenses start to increase, you're essentially in the same position that you were when you were making less money. Tip number 5 is to switch to a cash system. Now, my personal favorite is the cash envelope system, but you can manage your cash system in whatever way works best for you. Maybe you just want to consistently use your debit card for all your purchases. Maybe you do try cash envelopes. Maybe you do a hybrid system and just use cash envelopes for the categories that you continuously overspend in, or maybe you have a different system that works for you. But the point is, often when we spend with cash, we are feeling that transaction more. We are having a more visceral reaction to spending that money, and it makes it a little bit harder to spend versus just continuously swiping our credit card. Yes, of course, you know you're still spending money, but it makes it a lot easier to spend when you're not actually handing over real cash to the teller and you're just swiping that card. And it's very easy to forget how much you're spending until the bill comes in the mail. Try switching to a cash system and start keeping track of your purchases so you can see what kind of impact it has on your spending. Now, if you don't know, I have a free resource library on my site. I'm going to leave a link down below and you can sign up to join my freebie library. And I have a ton of helpful printables and trackers for you in there, including a spending tracker. So if you want to be able to track your spending each month, you can go ahead and join the resource library and download that for free. And if you are liking this video, I would appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out. And if you're not currently subscribed to my channel, I would love if you would subscribe so you can see more videos like this. Now, tip number 6 is kind of piggybacking off of tip number 5, but it is to live on a budget and track your spending. Now, I just kind of touched on tracking your spending, but in conjunction with that, learning how to live on a budget, tracking your spending, all ties into one major thing, which is paying attention to your money. So it is so easy to just get lost in the shuffle, the day-to-day, and not really pay attention to what bills you're paying or what expenses you're accruing or what money you're spending every single week. So learning to live on a budget is really going to force you to pay attention to what's coming in, what's going out. And I promise you, once you're paying attention to your money and you're being more intentional with managing your money, you're going to find it a lot easier to save money. It's almost going to feel like you gave yourself a raise. And if you are having a hard time learning how to create a budget or stick to a budget, I do have a free budgeting course that will actually help you create a budget you can stick to. It's going to take you by the hand and lead you through every single step of setting up your budget. So I will go ahead and link that down below, and you can check out my free budgeting course and start paying attention to your money. Tip number 7 is to open some type of high yield savings account. Now, I have 2 companies that I have personally used. I cannot speak to the accounts that I haven't tried myself. We have used the Capital One 360 savings account for years and years. Now, I do believe they may have recently announced some changes, but I haven't noticed any changes with the way my account works. The reason we love these accounts is because they're completely online, so you don't have to go step into a bank, and they pay you a ton more interest than your normal local bank is going to pay you. And again, you're not going to become a millionaire from this extra money, but so far this year, I believe we've earned already over $100 of interest from doing nothing except having our money sitting in the account. And we don't even have that much money in there. So when I look at putting my money to save long-term in a local bank or a high yield savings account, it's a no-brainer for me and my family. We also use Ally's high yield savings account, and we've had great experiences with those as well. I will leave links down below. You can check them out. And if you sign up for the Capital One account, you can actually get $25 for free when you open your account. I will leave the link to that down below. And if you're in the market for a high yield savings account, make sure you check them both out and see which one sounds better to you. The other thing that's really important when you look for a high yield savings account is you want to make sure it's no fee. And both of these accounts, the Capital One and the Ally account, are both fee-free. Now, that's important because it's great if you're earning extra interest, but if they are nickel and diming you to death every single month with bank fees, it's really going to take away from the interest that you're earning, which is the whole point in the first place. And my very last tip to help you save more money in the new year is to pay off your debt. Now, I know this one sounds simple, but you have to think about it. It's so true. When you are in debt, your money is not your own. That money that you are paying on these debt payments every single month is money that you could be saving. So if you are not currently on a debt-free journey, or you haven't really given much thought to paying off your debt and becoming debt-free before, I urge you to sit down, take a look at all your debt, add up all of your debt payments each month, and add up all of your balances each month so you can really get a good idea of how much money you are throwing away towards your debt every single month. And then after you do that, I want you to take a couple minutes and dream. What would it be like if you didn't have any of those debt payments ever again? How would it feel if all of that money you are currently paying on your debt you could have to save every single month? How would that impact your life, and how would that impact your finances? So I really want to encourage you to make 2020 the year that you start working towards eliminating all of your debt. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I will help you in any way I can. I would love to hear your feedback from this video. Are you currently doing any of these things to save money in your life? Or do you have some other tips that maybe I've overlooked? If you do, I would love if you could share them in the comments. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. Bye.